r/askreddit, when did you realize that you're dating an idiot? When kids egged his car and he thought the best way to get the egg off was to use steel wool. I like to imagine the kids high-fiving after the prank, only to see him cleaning it with the steel wool. A mortified chill of regret when they realize he was special. When my ex asked me where they grew spaghetti. Italy, obviously. When she said she loved nothing in the world more than Greek mythology, even got a degree related to Greek mythology from University of Arkansas but had no idea who Prometheus and Achilles were. That was a weekend well spent at the University of Arkansas. When he said he'd make pancakes and put the dry powder directly in the hot pan. Calls me at work because her crumpets don't fit in the crumpet tray under the toaster, crumpet tray. Had a look when I got home, clearly labeled crumb tray. What a dummy. Now excuse me while I go heat up some nice crumbs for lunch. The night I said that I thought I smelled gas, and they grabbed the lighter and struck it without hesitation. When she was choosing random pills from the blister of a 21 active plus 7 placebo contraceptive, instead of following the arrows on the package. Wild card, bitches. You've never played gas leak roulette? The cops regularly put a speed camera on a corner near his house. They've been doing it a couple of times a month for as long as he lived there, and he got caught by it many times. He was crying to me, literally, about how unfair the latest fine was and he had no money to pay it. I was fed up and told him to just slow down around that corner. I could tell from the look on his face he hadn't even considered that, and he got angry with me for not being sensitive enough. My ex was scared of hedgehogs and convinced himself they could jump over a 6-foot fence like a cat. Have you never seen Sonic? She skipped going to community college classes to stick it to the professor. I had to explain that she had already paid to be there and the professor wouldn't care or notice. When he split open the gas tank on our car mounting a curb and instead of dealing with it, parked the car in a closed parking garage of our apartment building, filmed the gas spewing out, and posted it on TikTok. The car also wasn't insured because he was driving after 10 p.m. on a restricted license, driving law in the country where it means if you don't have your full license, you can't drive after 10 p.m. Ended our engagement not long after that. Preheats the microwave. Edit, LOL. I knew you guys would appreciate this. But to be fair, there were other signs. She told me once about doggy people don't really do that, it's just for porn. So no, the sex wasn't good enough to stay. This is great. I now have a new insult. Thanks. Wow, that's a dangerous idiot. My GF told me that instead of setting the microwave timer to the time needed, her ex would just input the max time and wait. He forgot, more than once. Where does the sun go at night? I was dumbfounded. Edit, she was in her early 20s at the time. Just in case there are other Redditors who might not know the answer, can you let them know where does the sun go at night? She refused to pay taxes, have a bank account, or pay for public transit. She told me I change my name every few years so they can't find me. Like, she'd go to the government and change her name. Legally. So the government couldn't find her. We broke up for other reasons, but this was the first red flag. Where on earth do you even find people like that? Did she just see Dale Gribble and decide yes? She told me Apple Music was bullshit because it only had covers of Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata, and not the original. I actually laughed at this one. I've heard of people wanting the original recording before, but for stuff from the 17 and 1800s it might be tough to find one. He thought dipsticks were a scam to get people to buy more engine oil. We were talking about dinosaurs and he was shocked to hear they were real. Then he proceeded to ask me if they really breathed fire. He thought dinosaurs and dragons were the same thing. Stacking cups. In the dishwasher. Can you prove that they aren't? When I overheard her complaining I was too worried about money after she financed a $30K car with an insane interest rate while making $15 an hour. That's a severe lack of budgeting skills. That's something to hesitate about for wages double that. He could not find our country on Europe's map. The countries were written in bold, and the capitals too. I'm shockingly bad at geography, but this one is a bit much. She didn't know that yogurt and pudding were not the same thing. She thought it was like how the British call fries chips. She had been eating pudding and granola for breakfast for months and congratulating herself for being so healthy. She also baked baby Jesus a birthday cake on Christmas, lit a candle and took it outside. When the wind blew the candle out, she was convinced it's Jesus that blew it out. There's something about having to go outside to give Jesus his birthday cake that has me in stitches. My ex-wife and I were talking about money and it didn't seem like she know how to make change. I asked her how many quarters she thought were in $1 and she shrugged. When she told me she doesn't believe in so-called professionals. They're just normal everyday people like me. What more could they know? She was my daddy's a heart surgeon, so I'm basically one also type chicks. Every few months or so I reflect on how grateful I am that she never got pregnant. Edit, just to clarify, her dad definitely was not a heart surgeon. Not even close LMAO. But if he was, you wouldn't hear the end of it with that chick. She said playing basketball makes you taller. Her proof was all the tall people playing basketball. This one is perfect. So many others might be a communication issue or weaponized incompetence or cultural differences. But this one just screams my body is in motion but my brain is off. One day they looked at me and said we should make a trip to New York. I said I think that would be fun, but we really don't have the money to fly there right now. It's not that far. We lived in Portland, Oregon at the time. New York is next to Canada, and Canada is just past Washington. It can't be that far away. Earth is next to outer space, and outer space is right next to Alpha Centauri. It can't be that far away. We were having an argument, although I can't remember what about, when I very calmly asked him to explain what made him think that, and he said, I hate arguing with you because you always make me realize I'm wrong. An ex once told me, I hate arguing with you because you know all these facts. My wife would bring stuff home that said refrigerate after open it, and put it in the refrigerator. I'm glad this was qualified with would, hopefully meaning she has learned better. Did you marry Amelia Bedelia? He thought you absorb a gallon of water when you shower, so he didn't need to drink water. Were you dating SpongeBob? She didn't understand that you actually have to pay what you spent on credit cards. Like the credit amount she had was supposed to be her monthly limit that just resets each month. My friend did that when he was 19. Thought that it was basically free money. Bought so much weed and food, and to be fair he was very generous. And then the first credit card bill came.